Today I am making a Gunne Sax inspired garden dress so I can get my Ms. Frizzlecore on while I garden. Got some scrap paper here and I want to sketch out my garden sax design. I've got this for the bulk of it, very gardeny, and then for the contrast we've got I only got a yard of this contrast, so that is going to change kind of my plan for it. So I'm going to use the same pattern that to start with that I used for the canary dress, and that one has like a bigger panel here. Mine is huge because I had to adjust mine, and then a little waist, and this actually curves, and then a skirt, and then you can choose a few different sleeves, but for you can choose a few different sleeves, but for the canary dress I use this roughly butterfly sleeve. I don't know, which is alright, but for this dress we're going to try to make it more Gunne Sax inspired because I haven't made one for myself yet, and I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it, but I think I like making an old worldly dress without feeling the pressure to make it historically accurate. For this I want to make a bigger front panel, and then that means we're probably going to have to flatten out this underbust line, and I'd like to have puffy sleeves, but I don't think it's long enough for me to spend all the fabric on puffy sleeves, so I think I'm going to puff it to about the elbow and then bring it in probably with the contrasting fabric. So this will be darker. I think this will be the darker stuff. And we'll use the veggies for this part. One of the main reasons why I want to have a lot of coverage in this dress is because I do actually want to garden in it. So I want to protect my skin from the sun and the buggies. And I don't know how much fabric I'll have, so ideally I'd like to do like maybe a band and a ruffle on the bottom, but I don't know that I have enough fabric for that. So I think the bottom will be easier to add on to in the future if we decide that we need more length. And also the sun doesn't hit my legs as hard, or at least my legs don't really get affected by the sun in the same way, so we don't really need to worry about that as much. And then I have this maroony ribbon. Let's open you up so we can see you. This is the issue with buying everything online, is I was hoping that it would really coordinate with this the pruner here, but it's a little darker. That's alright, because I think this is more, maybe a little more fuchsia, but I think it'll still be cute. I think we can still add that to our dress. But where's the problem? I think, you know, we'll definitely need to do probably some at the bottom of the sleeve, maybe a double row at the bottom of the sleeve, and then definitely some along the edge Then do we want to do it along this one too? Oh, yeah, maybe we'll just do the edge of the contrasting like that, and then, oopsie daisies. Maybe do a double row on that, and then we'll need something like that. Is that enough? I feel like we can add more. Well, yeah, if we've got enough, then at least some on the bottom. We gotta draw the eye down there too. So I don't know if this is gonna be, if I'm gonna have enough supplies, but I think this is a good place to start. If it feels like it needs to have more decoration, we can add it, but we've also got a lot of pattern going on in the fabric. So we've got to balance that out by maybe being a little conservative. The other thing that I want to change is, okay, here it is. The other thing I want to change is, in the original pattern, the back is like a V-neck, but obviously if I am going to be gardening in this, that's going to put way too much sun on the back of my neck, which is the place where I usually burn, if and when I burn. So we're gonna wanna scoop neck that out. Instead, carry this around, if I can get the lid back. I didn't do the back yet because I dropped the pieces on the floor and I didn't realize it. So I think getting in and out, the hard part is this part, so I think that's like way too. My eyes are up here. Right. So I just adapted the mock-up that I had made for my canary dress. And putting on, I popped this seam here. So it's a little tight. I could probably add a smidge to the back. I think the front is kind of what it needs to be. There's one side is a little bit, one side fits better than the other, and I think it's because I lost my gathering and I just shoved it under because it was a mock-up and it didn't matter. So I think that if I gather them nicely, maybe even use the ruffle foot this time, it'll be okay. I think this panel is kind of what I need it to be, especially once we have the seam allowance taken out. And then these, I don't know if there's a way, could probably make this panel a little bit smaller and then hide my sports bra. If we care. So I sewed the seam, I sewed it the wrong side. That's okay. Yeah, this is a nice back opening. I think that this plus half will equal less sunburn, I hope. It's a little bit tight to get on and off, but it's fine. You know, working out all the time, so maybe that'll change, maybe not. It is what it is. And I don't have the ties on because I didn't really add them for the mock-up. Yeah, now I am ready to take this apart and transfer over measurements to make a new pattern and then cut and sew. I'm so excited. I need to get this done because I need to starting my seeds, and I realize rational brain says you can start some seeds without wearing a frizzle dress, but I need my frizzle dress. I mean, we got the power of the frizz, now we just need the dress. I don't have enough fabric to cut out my center panels the way I need to. I had already cut out 2 back panels and then 1/4 of the center panel. So I am taking off the bottom layer and I'm gonna make it the same length as my canary dress so then I put the strips here and I'll ruffle them and sew them together and then add trim. So I just need to cut out a chunk for here, and then that is the last of the cutting for today. Ta-da! The Gunne Sax dress. I remember when I was making the canary dress and I said, oh, I picked this pattern because it's gonna really like be adaptable through weight loss, and I'm not sure if it is the pattern or what I changed, but not so much. At some point I might unpick the bodice and remake that and maybe get rid of these sleeves, because I think as nice as it'll be to have the sun protection and the bug protection and the itchy vines protection, I made them too loose and they're floppy and they're weird. So I don't think I'm a big fan of this sleeve that I did. Could maybe try and do it better in the future. It might be better if they were tighter, but I also don't want them to be too tight because I do want to be able to like garden in this dress. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe somewhere down the line I'll make really long gloves for gardening and then chop off these annoying sleeves. The other issue is that this kind of falls open and you can see all of my bra straps. Whatever, they're bras. But yeah, it's really loose, and I don't think it was this loose. Was it this loose on the mock-up? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I have lost weight, but I don't think I've lost. I don't know that I've lost this much weight. And the other problem is that I should have added the bulk to the bodice on the shoulders, but I added them to the bottom. This is basically the same bodice that I did for the canary dress. And it was after the canary dress that I figured out it's not where you should add it. So it's got too much fabric, and that means I've got a lot of fabric right here, which, you know, I thought about unpicking and trying to fix, but I didn't want to unpick all these things right now for a minor change when I'll probably have to rework it in the future. I've decided that I don't think I can live with this. My sewing machine is out of sewing machine needles. I broke them all on the Gunne Sax dress and this guy. So I'm going to just do a small fix today. I'm going to take, I've got my dress turned inside out. I'm going to take this sewing pin and I'm just going to gather up what I'm going to need to gather. And this is not going to be a perfect fix because I don't have my sewing machine. And I just need it to be a little bit nicer because this dress is probably going to need to be recut, at least the bodice, because I'm losing weight and it's just not fitting the way I want it to. So keep your eyes peeled for fixing the Gunne Sax dress coming, I don't know when. Probably not anytime soon, because hopefully this fix will make it wearable for until I feel like changing it. I cut the sleeves off. They really bothered me. It's a little tight. I just don't like the feeling of elastic on me, which is why I was trying to avoid it, but I think for the sleeve style it's pretty unavoidable. So I cut them off and now I have short sleeves. I think it looks better. Tailored, yeah, I did a little bit of sewing on the bodice and it looks a little bit better, but ultimately I think I just, like, this middle panel is just way too big, but can't really fix that without completely taking it apart, and I don't want to do that right now. Maybe someday. Not right now. Right now I'm ready to actually get gardening. It is the day that I start my onions and my kale officially. So let's get gardening! Next week I'll be posting the dress that I made for my child. It is a spring themed bunny dress or a bunny sax dress, and it is so cute. It's adorable. You're gonna want to see it, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you. Bye.